Men of Reddit, what is the most embarrassing thing you've done during S******? One time my GF was sucking my dick. She was getting really into it and getting sloppy with it. I was holding her hair and forcing her head fairly aggressively. We've always enjoyed rough ass, so this was very normal for us. When suddenly she pops my dick out her mouth and tells me slap me, and holds my dick next to her cheek while staring up at me. This was a bit out of my comfort zone, but without hesitation I slap her across the face with an open hand. She gets back to sucking my schlong, and I get back to simply enjoying the feeling of getting the soul sucked out of me. But I can't help but feel like maybe I had swung a little too hard. I didn't like that feeling. I pull my dick out of her mouth and tell her I rather not have to slap you. She replied, same. I meant slap me with your dick. We both burst out laughing. Like uncontrollably laughing. Bro, she's a keeper. 100% keeper. Looked down at my own man tits and went soft. Oof, this is the toughest one on here. That isn't embarrassing though, like it's just something biological your body does. So ripping a fart wouldn't be embarrassing, that's a biological thing your body does. Farted while thrusting, and not just once, like 4 times in a row, once per thrust. Never saw her again? I imagine the check engine light turning on. This is hysterical. Stepdad walking in on me on my first proper girlfriend, and whilst balls deep I said hi. I still don't understand why I said hi. Could have been worse. My girlfriend's dad walked in on her giving me head. For some reason, my stupid teenage brain decided sup was the appropriate response. Have never lived that moment down. You, obviously. Rangeryup vote worthy. First real girlfriend in high school grade 12 was an incredibly flexible gymnast. Her dad walked in to see her feet behind her head with my hands on her hamstrings supporting my body weight. We were going at it good and very exposed. Something about the surprise caused the exact opposite reaction I would have expected. Yeah, Dad saw me finish. I'd like to think my memory is false, but I'd swear we were making eye contact as I realized there was no pulling out, or it would be worse. His look of disappointment is still burned into my memory, and I'm now an old man. They moved to another state about 6 months later, and I'm fairly confident that was the catalyst. Finishing inside a man's daughter while you lock eyes with him, power move. Assert dominance. Mark your territory. So like I was with this girl, she was pretty thick. Well, I put her in doggy style and I thought I had put it in, and instead I was just effing the space between her thighs. I couldn't tell the difference back then and ended up coming, and only after she told me I wasn't even inside her. This has happened to me as well, hahaha, but I didn't come. She was just like, you are screwing my thighs right. I wish she said that, then I wouldn't be posting here. Leg cramp after I called my then girlfriend by my previous girlfriend's name. Couldn't have gone worse, lol. Yeah, she could have called him his ex-girlfriend's name. Was going down on my GF on Thanksgiving. We were at my parents' house, in the basement, on the couch, and I was under a blanket. Apparently my dad came down and slowly backed away like Homer Simpson in the bushes. I had no idea, but she noticed. During dinner, my dad commented, "Wow, I'm surprised you're still hungry. Your dad is a G, that's hilarious." She said, "Come for me." I heard "comfort me." I stopped mid-stroking and hugged her, while caressing her hair. 23 years later, I still lose sleep. This comment right here made me laugh the hardest. I'm sorry for getting enjoyment from your misfortune. Haha. Wasn't having S, but GF came over and walked into my room. I was passed out with my dick in a pocket. PS why? Because I got tired while using it and passed out. What was her reaction? She laughed. A different ex of mine would have lost her mind, so I'm glad it was one and not the other. I'll never be with another woman again who views self-pleasuring as cheating. Seriously, I mean, I haven't had a girlfriend in almost 10 years, not by choice, unfortunately. But in my opinion, it's better to self-pleasure to a fantasy than to unfaithfully act out said fantasy with another woman. Laughed at a joke on the TV I was using to distract me from coming to fast. She was not amused. Well, this reminds me of a time me and a girl went to a movie just to fool around. We picked a random movie that we thought would not have many people. It was 10 Cloverfield Lane. We were fooling around for a bit, but ended up actually being invested in the movie. Lol, we still had a good time. Smiley face. Not surprised, I thought it was a really good movie. Pulled a back muscle trying to get a titty in my mouth during spoons. Trying to fly too close to the sun. If only, was stuck in the moon's orbit. Was having phone S and I moaned her name and she blocked me. Lamau. Why? Would have loved that. She forgot what name she gave him and was insulted that he moaned someone else's name. My partner Fanny farted, and in an attempt to make it less awkward I farted and then myself. A man with honor right here. His shart was in the right place. Almost died going down on a girl with a clit piercing. She was riding my face and the ball of the stud must have went in my mouth or nose and into my throat. Was a couple seconds from blackout when I coughed it up. She was shook from it, but I was horny and ready to keep going. Dev by snoo snoo. The spirit is willing, but the body is spongy and bruised. Blasting in like 5 seconds and not being able to stiffen again. Lamau. Ye came here to say this. My refractory period is 2, so there typically isn't around to any time soon. Increasing my cardio and fitness levels from literally 0 to doing something every day has made my erections easier to get, maintain, and regain. Talk about sensitivity as well. She was on top when I pulled out. My nut shot out like a rocket and over her and landed directly on my forehead. Oh boy. Need to know what happened after. Simba. The circle of life. Ife. My GF scooted off my male reproductive organ and told me to come in. Hooray. Immediately bust my load on the back of her leg. If a girl ever said to me I would do that, that's hot of. One more reason I'm extremely happy my wife is an anal S. I'm happy she is one, too. I had a bloody nose out of nowhere and it dripped on her face. It was like some bad anim. My ex got a bloody nose while going down on me. We were both very confused for a few minutes since it wasn't close to my period. Made for a good laugh though. Okay, so this is a long story. I was with my best friend of roughly 5 years. And we had been hooking up from time to time. Keep in mind I was relatively new to S and one time. We was in her family's home, me, her, and her brother who was a little bit older at the time. Whilst playing Mario Kart on her Nintendo Wii she began to grab my leg. Things slowly escalated and then there was a point when her brother went to shower and we took the opportunity to you-know-what, which lasted longer than expected and her brother walked back in on me plowing his sister. She tried explaining what was going on and I panicked asking him if he'd like to join in. We stopped having S at her house after that and I left with a black eye, rightfully so. Haha dude, I'm sorry, but your response was amazing. What am I supposed to say in that situation? Nothing. Nothing at all. Stupid Cy Flanders. I was dating a leasing agent and we were hooking up in one of the apartments that she was showing. And we heard the door open and another agent was showing an older couple the place. Lol, we rushed to put our clothes on, but they 100% knew. How unprofessional of him though. Not me, but a friend was putting it in his GF's butt in the back of a car at night. Cop shows up and flashes his light in the back of the car. He freaks out and pulls out super quick. She proceeds to SH on him and then he pukes on her. Cop didn't stick around and said go home. What the F? When you knock on Poop's door, don't be surprised if he answers. I came in my condom while still being inside her, but I didn't pull out afterwards and just went for a cuddle with my dick still in there, rapidly getting soft. After a minute, she gets up and yells, "Oh my God, your condom is inside me and there's cum everywhere." Condom crawled down from dick and got lost in her tunnel. Also didn't help that it was happening in dark, cold bunker and army training camp. And, as a cherry on top, she got pregnant from that. What happened after? We got assigned to 2 different regiments and our wild to weak relationship came to an end. She got an abortion before going to front line. That's wild. I've had a condom slip off a few times during S. I've had one pop before too. It's like, why does this feel so much better all of a sudden? Oh. I broke a girl's tailbone. I had a big bean bag next to my bed for a while and it was fun to toss her onto it. Well, someone removed it without telling me. And we were getting hot and heavy after a night out. And without thinking, I practically suplexed this poor girl onto the hardwood. We didn't hook up again after that. Bro? I like to listen to music while having S. Typically me and my friend who I was dating at the time throw something on my phone, but for dislike for reason we used hers. Her tastes are more interesting. Everything is going well. Can't remember what was playing before it switched, but now it's on What Does the Fox Say? I don't know what it was, but that made me hit the climax button way earlier than I thought. She ends up laughing hysterically while I've got the most confused orgasm face she's ever seen. Burned into both of our minds forever. Must have been the Wah Wah Wado. What would bid 'em weighty? Wah Wah Wado Fox Solo. When What Does the Fox Say came out, it was summertime. I figured I'd go as the fox for Halloween. So I ordered the costume and lucked out and got the last legit fox costume that was exactly like the music video. So I went as the fox that year. It just so happened I looked almost literally exactly like the singer Elvis. So I went downtown to the clubs and Ma and I finally knew what it was like to be a hot girl in a club. These girls were losing their minds over me. It was actually almost physically scary. Finally, I got claimed by this 6-foot Amazon Rainbow Bright. She took me home and had her wicked way with me. Elvis, you son of a gun. You got me the best Halloween hookup of my life. What does the fox say? He says thank you. I was about to climax and my dick got ticklish. I climaxed while giggling like a schoolgirl. I'm a guy in his 40s. How the F does your dick get ticklish? Most sensitive organ we have. Incorrect, my tuba is very insecure. No lie, I once referred to myself as a master cocksman during the act. Things were going well and I thought I was being funny, but yeah, that ended it. Nashi was the problem, not you. That is a great way to refer to yourself in ANY context. I should create a fake account for this. But I know Reddit will never share this, so I shot the dog. Yeah, I know. Well, to be fair, The dog was on the bed and I'd warned him many times to get the F out. But he didn't seem to mind all the bed shaking, so me and the GF were getting pretty heated, and just as I'm about to pull out and go all-star, the dog barks and that startles me, which causes me to turn toward the dog and I got him. The look he gave me, riddled with betrayal, like the godfather looking over his eldest son, dead and riddled with bullets. Look what they've done to my fur. I wiped him down and could barely even look at him. My GF was like, I knew you liked doggy but had no idea. Took me a few years for her to stop yelling "Get down, Mr. President" at the dog every time I was about to climax. I really thought I'd feel better after typing this out. Lamau, that poor dog. Nothing embarrassing, but trying to find the hole in complete darkness is frustrating. It's like trying to find an outlet to charge your phone in the dark. Singing a chorus during an orgasm. Chris Isaac. Wicked game. Don't want to fall in love. Luckily she was a fan. That's such a wicked thing to do, man. Agonizing leg cramp mine that was so bad we both had to stop. And those later in life orgasm headaches are the worst, and then having to explain them. Wait, what? Please elaborate, I have never heard of this. Common for both men and women with blood pressure or vascular issues, as arousal heightens to orgasm. One can get a blinding headache. Sad face. Sneezed and shot a little pee into my boyfriend's mouth. ETA. Hecko everyone who knows for a fact that squirt is pee. Thank you. We all appreciate you being here and telling us that squirt is pee. Keep it up. We love you telling us that over and over. Remember 20 years ago when science knew with 100% certainty the G-spot was a myth, and how then finally the anatomy of the clitoris was mapped and science realized that the G-spot is just the back of the clitoris. Remember when 2 years ago Swiss scientists found a previously undiscovered muscle in the jaw, and that same year a new nerve cell was discovered in the eye, and in 2019 a new pain-sensing organ was found in human skin, and a bone that was supposed to have evolved out of the human knee was found to still exist. I'm sure this is nothing like that, and this time the science is 100% correct. Did he notice? He sure did. Did he care? I need to know his response. He rinsed out his mouth and came back for more, and now we know that dislike versus squirt may be. It's diff not pee. Said I love you. Rip. Literally not getting hard and still blowing load in like 2 minutes. That was pretty awesome. For reference, she was rubbing it with her fun parts to make me hard to put it in, and yeah about it. Also, it was definitely in my mid-30s, not teens. Did your dick flop around like a garden hose when nobody is holding it? What an image. We are on Reddit. Do you really think we have S? The first time I had S, I had no idea how to eat out, and I licked her pubes for like 10 minutes. Ha 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 ha. She had a horrible smell down there, and come to find out it was a condom that had been stuck inside her cooch for weeks and started to rot. After I nutted, I told her she needed to get that looked at. Effing animal. My man. You my now wife when we were younger and ended my relationship with my ex. I said my ex name out loud while I came in her. That fight lasted about 10 years. All clear for now. Oh no, yeah, I can imagine she was upset, haha. I said stop, I need to use the bathroom. Anal, he did not stop when I orgasmed. I shat violently. It was the strongest climax of my life. I screamed and shat against my will. He threw me off the bed. He collapsed on the floor, half conscious. Covered in I was not embarrassed to be I was too busy being utterly demolished. Dragged me to my feet a few minutes later and put me in the bath to be barely remember it. I didn't even see the mess before he stripped the bed. I was gone, laying on the floor half conscious, just whimpering. Was embarrassing and more, and that's the story of the time I shat fury on a guy who didn't listen to me. That's what you get for a plus though. NGL, I went a good few years like I came so hard I fell off the bed until one day it just clicked that I vaguely remembered him violently throwing me off the bed. He still crack up over it like he was an $1, but he performed good. Ooh, that's called RE. I'm glad you shone him. He ed me more times than I can count. That was just the most satisfying time. DW.